Dear learners, welcome to Chapter 7, Other Emerging Technologies. This is nanotechnology. Have you heard of nano? Nano is a billions of a meter. Nanotechnology can also be defined as design, characterization, production, and application of structures, devices, and systems by controlling shapes and sizes at nanometer scale. A good example of nanometer is the thickness of a newspaper sheet, which is 100,000 nanometers. Dear learners, have you ever asked yourself how and when the term nanotechnology was coined? It actually started way before it got its name by American physicist Richard Feynman in 1959. In the talk, there is plenty of room at the bottom at the American Physical Society, Caltech. He talked about this.
How small can you make machinery? Okay, that's the subject. Because I've heard people around in the bath saying, tiny machines. What is he talking about, tiny machines? And I say to him, you know, very small machines, and it doesn't work. I am talking about very small machines.
Actually, the term nanotechnology was coined by Professor Nario Taniguchi. The fundamental concepts of nanotechnology, actually nano means small, a very small size, and atoms and molecules and macromolecules. Materials show different properties at this level than at a bigger scale. Their magnetic, electrical, and other properties differ significantly from the bottom level than bigger level. Do you know why we have to study materials at nanoscales? It is because materials at nanoscale will portray different behavior than at larger scale. This will make materials to be more chemically reactive and change their strengths and electrical patterns. The quantum effect begins at this level. Materials will have different electrical, optical, and magnetic behavior at this level. Quantum effects can begin to dominate the behavior of matter at the nanoscale, particularly at the lower end, affecting the optical, electrical, and magnetic behavior of the materials. Today, scientists and engineers are finding a wide variety of ways to deliberately make materials at the nanoscale to take advantage of their enhanced properties, such as higher strength, lighter weight, increased control of light spectrum, and greater chemical reactivity than their larger scale counterparts. Today, nanotechnology have been applied in a range of areas, ranging from medicine, food, agriculture, electronics, and vehicle manufacturing. In medicine, customized nanoparticles sized of molecules can deliver drugs directly to diseased cells in your body, which will significantly reduce the damage treatment of chemotherapy. In electronics, nanotechnology helps in integrated circuit production to increase the capabilities of electronics devices by reducing their weight and power consumption. In food, the technology has an impact on several aspects of food science, from how food is grown to how it is packaged. Nanomaterials make a difference not only in the taste of food, but also in good safety and the health benefit of food delivery. In agriculture, nanotechnology has significant role to improve the nourishment, preservation, handling, transportation, and waste treatment. In vehicle manufacturing, like aviation, lighter and stronger materials will be valuable for making vehicles that are both quicker and more secure.
Welcome to Lesson 2, Biotechnology. Biotechnology is about any technological application that uses biological systems, living organisms, to make or modify products or processes for a specific use. So when we talk about biotechnology, a biotechnology is a technology based on biology that harnesses cellular and biomolecular processes in order to develop technologies and products that will help and improve our lives and our health in our planet. The most common examples that can be given in a biotechnology can be brewing and baking bread. Today, biotechnology covers many different disciplines, such as in agriculture, which includes the development of genetically modified plants, biofuels, biological treatments. And also in industrial biotechnology, it includes a production of chemicals, papers, textiles, and also food. The history of biotechnology. When Edward Jenner invented vaccines and Alexander Fleming discovered antibiotics, they were harnessing the power of biotechnology. And of course, modern civilization would hardly be imaginable without the fermentation process that gave us a beer, wine, and also cheese. So biotechnology is an old technology coined by agriculturalist Karl Erke in 1919. However, modern biological researchers modify DNA and proteins in order to shape capabilities of living cells, plants, and animals in order to give something that's useful for humans. In applications of biotechnology, I will try to define some biotechnology applications in the area of agriculture, medicine, and environment. The first application of biotechnology is the agriculture. In agriculture, genetically modified organisms that are formed by manipulating DNA in order to introduce nutrients into crops, animals, and plants will make crops pest resistant, insect resistant, and also weed resistant. The second application is medicine. In medicine, to produce genetically modified insulin that's known as a humulin for a diabetes patients, and also a gene therapy, which is a technique to remove genetic defects in an embryo or a child by transferring of a normal gene that works over the non-functional gene. The last application area we are going to discuss in applications of biotechnology is the environment. Biotechnology is used in waste treatment and pollution prevention. Environmental biotechnology can more efficiently clean up many wastes than the conventional methods, and it will greatly reduce our dependencies on different methods that are land-based disposal.
Dear learners, welcome to Lesson 3. Have you heard of the term blockchain? Blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks that are linked using cryptography. Each block contains a cryptography hash of the previous one, a timestamp, and the transaction data, generally represented as Merkle tree. A blockchain is, in simplest of terms, a time-stamped series of immutable records of data that is managed by a cluster of computers not owned by a single entity. Each of these data, also called blocks, is secured and bound to each other using cryptographic principles, which is called chain. Together form blockchain. Blocks in a blockchain are made up of digital pieces of information with three parts. Blocks are information about transaction. Example, the date, time, and dollar amount of your recent purchase. Blocks store information about who is participating in transactions. And instead of using your actual name, your transaction is recorded without any identifying information using a unique digital signature, sort of like username. Blocks store information that distinguishes them from other blocks, much like you and I have names to distinguish us from one another. Each block stores a unique code called a hash that allows to distinguish from other block. When a block stores new data, it is added to the blockchain. Blockchain, as its name suggests, consists of multiple blocks strung together. In order for a block to be added to the blockchain, however, four things must happen. The first thing that should happen is a transaction must occur. The second thing, that transaction must be verified. The third important thing is the transaction must be stored in a block. And the last thing is the block must be given a hash. The first work on cryptography is by Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta in 1991. The first blockchain was popularized and conceptualized by a person or a group of people known as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. You know, the words block and chain were used separately in Satoshi Nakamoto's original paper, but eventually popularized as a single word, blockchain, by 2016. Now I will show you how blockchain works. A blockchain carries no transaction cost. An infrastructure cost, yes, but no transaction cost. A blockchain is a simple yet ingenious way of passing information from A to B in a fully automated and safe manner. One party to a transaction initiates the process. The process is initiated when one party to a transaction initiates the process by creating a block. This is verified by thousands, perhaps millions of computers distributed around the network. The verified block is added to a chain which is stored across the net, creating not just a unique record, but a unique record with a unique history. Falsifying a single record would mean falsifying the entire chain in millions of instances. Pillars of blockchain. The three properties of blockchain technology are: number one, decentralization. The information is not stored by one single entity. In fact, everyone in the network owns the information. If you wanted to interact with your friend, then you can do it directly without going through a third party. That was the main ideology behind Bitcoins. You and only you alone are in charge of your money. You can send your money to anyone you want to without having to go through a bank. Number two, transparency. Some people say that blockchain gives you privacy, while some say that it is transparent. Why do you think that happens? A person's identity is hidden via complex cryptography and represented only by their public address. So, if you were to look up a person's transaction history, you will not see the message, but you will see the encrypted message. For example, Bob sent 1 Bitcoin. Instead of the full information, you will see the encrypted Bob's name followed by sent 1 Bitcoin. Third, immutability. Immutability in the context of blockchain means that once something has been entered into the blockchain, it cannot be tampered with. The reason why blockchain gets this property is that of the cryptographic hash function. In simple terms, hashing means taking input string of any length and giving output of fixed length. Dear learners, have you ever wondered why people use peer-to-peer network in blockchain technology? Here are some applications of blockchain technology. Number one, blockchain has application in companies like Uber and GoFundMe. In governance, blockchain helps to take polls in full transparency. Number two, blockchain has also importance in supply chain auditing and file sharing on the internet, like torrent. Dear learners, welcome to Lesson 4, Cloud Computing, Quantum Computing, and Autonomy Computing. Cloud computing is a means of networking remote servers that are hosted on the internet, rather than storing and processing data on local server or personal computer's hard drive. There are 3 types of cloud infrastructure. Number 1, public cloud. Here, a third-party provider manages the servers, applications, and storage much like a public utility. Anyone can subscribe to the provider's cloud service, which is usually operated through their own data center. Number 2, business or organization cloud. This might be hosted on private on-site data center, although some companies host through a third-party provider instead. Either way, the computing infrastructure exists as a private network accessible over the internet. Third, hybrid. Here, private clouds are connected to public clouds, allowing data and applications to be shared between them. Private clouds existing alone can be very limiting, and a hybrid offers a business more flexibility. Dear learners, here are some advantages of cloud computing. Cheap computing power, vast resource of computing power, allows multiple users to access data from any location at any time. The next interesting topic is quantum computing. Quantum computing represents the next generation of computing. Unlike classic computers, they derive their computing power by harnessing the power of quantum physics. Qubit is a short for a sequence of quantum bits. With a classic computer, data is stored in tiny transistors that hold a single bit of information, either in binary value of 1 or 0. With a quantum computer, the data is stored in qubits. Thanks to the mechanics of quantum physics, where subatomic particles obey their own laws, a qubit exists in two states at the same time. This phenomena is called superposition. Qubit can have a value of 1, 0, or some value in between. Two qubits can hold even more values. Here are some of the advantages of quantum computing. It makes complex calculations. For example, Google Fast Quantum Computer with 53 qubits has a speed of 200 seconds computation, while the supercomputer took 10,000 years. Help in the discovery of new medical drugs by unlocking the complex structure of chemical molecules. Financial trading, risk management, and supply chain optimization. With its ability to handle more complex numbers, data could be transferred over the internet with much safer encryption. Another important lesson in here is autonomic computing. Autonomic computing is an approach to address the complexity and evolution problems of software systems. An autonomic computing system would control the functioning of computer applications and systems without input from the user, in the same way that the autonomic nervous system regulates body systems without conscious input from the individual. The goal of autonomic computing is to create systems that run themselves, capable of high functioning while keeping the system's complexity invisible to the user. Characteristics of autonomic systems. An autonomic system can self-configure at runtime to meet changing operating environments, self-tune to optimize performance, self-heal when it encounters unexpected obstacles during its operation and of particular interest. Protect itself from malicious attacks. An autonomic system can self-manage anything including a single property or multiple properties. Self-awareness. The system is aware of its state and its behaviors. Self-configuring. The system can configure and reconfigure itself under varying and unpredictable conditions. Self-optimizing. The system should be able to detect suboptimal behaviors and optimize itself to improve its execution. Self-healing. The system should be able to detect, recover from potential problems, and continue to function smoothly. Self-protecting. The system should be capable of detecting and protecting its resources from both internal and external attacks, and maintaining overall system security and integrity. Dear learners, welcome to Lesson 5, Computer Vision. It is an interdisciplinary scientific field that deals with how computers can be made to gain a high level of understanding of digital images or videos. From the perspective of engineering, it seeks to automate tasks that human visual system can do. Computer vision tasks include methods for acquiring, processing, analyzing, and understanding digital images, and extraction of high-dimensional data from the real world in order to produce numerical or symbolic information. For example, in the form of decisions. Understanding this context means the transformation of visual images, that is the input of retina, into description of the world that can interface with other thought processes and elicit appropriate action. How computer vision works? Have you wondered how computer vision works? Here are some steps how computer vision works. Number 1, acquiring an image. Images, even large sets, can be acquired in real time through videos, photos, or 3D technology for analysis. Number 2, processing the image. Deep learning models automate much of these processes, but the models are often trained by first being fed thousands of labeled or pre-identified images. Number 3, understanding the image. The final step is the interpretative step, where an object is identified or classified. Types of computer vision. Number 1, image segmentation. partitions an image into multiple regions or pieces to be examined separately. Number 2, object detection. Identifies a specific object in an image. Advanced object detection recognizes many objects in a single image. For example, a football field, an offensive player, a defensive player, a ball, and so on. These models use XY coordinate to create a bounding box and identify everything inside the box. Third, facial recognition, an advanced type of object detection that not only recognizes a human face in an image, but identifies a specific individual. Number 4, edge detection is a technique used to identify the outside edge of an object or a landscape to better identify what is in the image. Number 5, pattern detection is a process of recognizing repeated shapes, colors, and other visual indicators in the image. Image classification groups image into different categories. Feature matching is a type of pattern detection that matches similarities in image to help classify them. Here are some of the applications of computer vision. Optical character recognition, OCR. This is reading handwritten postal codes on letters and automatic number plate recognition. Machine inspection. Rapid parts inspection for quality assurance using stereo vision with specialized illumination to measure tolerances on aircraft wings, or auto body parts looking for defects in steel casting using X-ray vision. Automotive safety. Detecting unexpected obstacles such as pedestrians on the street under conditions where active vision techniques such as radar or LiDAR do not work well. Surveillance. Monitoring for intruders, analyzing highway traffic, and monitoring pools for drowning victims. Fingerprint recognition and biometrics for automatic access authentication as well as forensic application. Welcome to Lesson 6, Embedded Systems. Embedded system is a controller with a dedicated function within a larger mechanical or electrical system, often with real-time computing constraints. Modern embedded systems are often based on microcontrollers, that is, microprocessors with integrated memory and peripheral interfaces. For simple systems or ordinary microprocessors, using external chips for memory and peripheral interface circuits are also common for complex systems. Dear learners, here are some pros and cons of embedded systems. It is easily customizable. It takes low power consumption, low cost. Disadvantage: it has high development effort and longer time to market. Basic structure of embedded system. As exhibited in the picture, here are some of the components of embedded system. Sensor. Sensor measures the physical quantity and converts it to an electrical signal which can be read by an observer or by any instrument like an analog to digital converter. An analog to digital converter converts the analog signal sent by the sensor into a digital signal. Processor and ASICs. Processors process the data to measure the output and store it to the memory. Digital to analog converter. Digital to analog converter converts the digital data fed by the processor to analog data. Actuator. An actuator compares the output given by the digital to analog converter to the actual expected output stored in it and stores the approved output. Welcome to Lesson 7, Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the protection of computer systems from the theft of or damage to their hardware, software, or electronic data, as well as from the disruption or misdirection of the services they provide. It is often confused with information security, but it focuses on protecting computer systems from unauthorized access or being otherwise damaged or made inaccessible. Information security is a broader category that looks to protect all information assets, whether it is hard copy or in digital form. The term cybersecurity is used to describe unlawful activities in which computer or computing devices such as smartphones, tablets, personal digital assistants, PDAs, and the like, which are standalone or a part of a network are used as a tool or end target of criminal activities. It is often committed by the people of destructive and criminal mindset, either for revenge, greed, or adventure. Combating such criminal activities requires a multidisciplinary approach that spans hardware and software through to policy and people, all of it aimed at both preventing cyber crimes occurring in the first place and minimizing its impact when it does. There are a lot of cybersecurity measures. Here are some of the cybersecurity measures to be taken to prevent cyber crimes. Staff awareness training. Human errors is the leading cause of data breach. So you need to equip staff with the knowledge to deal with the threats they face. Training courses will show staff how security threats affect them and help them apply best practices to real-world situations. Application security. Web application vulnerabilities are a common point of intrusion for cyber criminals. As applications play an increasing criminal role in business, it is vital to focus on web application security. Network security. Network security is a process of protecting the usability and integrity of your network and data. This is achieved by conducting a network penetration test, which scans your network for vulnerabilities and security issues. Leadership commitment. Leadership commitment is the key to cyber resilience. Without it, it is very difficult to establish or enforce effective processes. Top management must be prepared to invest in appropriate cybersecurity resources, such as awareness training. Password management. A study shows half of the UK population uses password 123456 or QWERTY as their password. You should implement a password management policy that provides guidance to ensure staff create strong passwords and keep them secure. Types of cybersecurity threats. Ransomware. It is a type of malicious software. It is designed to extort money by blocking access to files or the computer system until the ransom is paid. Paying the ransom does not guarantee that the files will be recovered or the system is restored. Malware. It is a type of software designed to gain unauthorized access or to cause damage to a computer. Social engineering. It is a tactic that adversaries use to trick you into revealing your sensitive information. They can solicit a monetary payment or gain access to your confidential data. Social engineering can be combined with any of the threats listed above to make you more likely to click on the links, download malware, or trust a malicious source. Phishing. It is a practice of sending fraudulent emails that resemble legitimate emails from reputable sources. The aim is to steal sensitive data like credit card numbers and login information. It is the most common type of cyber attack. You can help protect yourself through education or technology solution that filters malicious emails. Here are some benefits of cybersecurity. Business protection against malware, ransom, phishing, and social engineering. Protection for data and networks from hackers. Prevention of unauthorized users. Improves recovery time after a breach. Protection for end users. Some of the cybersecurity vendors are Cisco, McAfee, and Trend Micro, and others. Welcome to Lesson 8, Additive Manufacturing, also called 3D printing. The American Society for Testing and Materials equates the two terms in their definition. Additive manufacturing, also known as 3D printing, uses computer-aided design to build objects layer by layer. According to Wikipedia, today, the precision, repeatability, and material range has increased to the point that 3D printing is considered as industrial production technology with the name of additive manufacturing.